Fan success has no age. Motivational speech script. F ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, dreamers and believers, how many of you have ever been told you're too young? Raise your hands. How many have been told you're too old? I see those hands too. Now, here's the question that will change everything. How many of you believe them? You know, I was 21 when a car accident changed my life forever. As I lay in that hospital bed, paralyzed from the waist down, people whispered around me. They said I was too young to understand what real suffering meant. Then, when I started painting at 25, they said I was too late to become a real artist. When I began speaking publicly at 30, they said I was too inexperienced. When I started my own organization at 35, they said I was too ambitious for someone in my condition. But here I am today, and here you are, listening to someone who refused to let age, whether too young or too old, define the boundaries of possibility. Success, my friends, doesn't check your birth certificate before it knocks on your door. It doesn't ask for your age when it presents an opportunity. Success is not bound by the number of candles on your birthday cake or the lines on your face. Success recognizes only one thing: your readiness to embrace it. Think about this for a moment. When you were born, did you check the calendar and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm arriving at the wrong time"? When your heart started beating, did it ask permission based on the decade you'd entered? Of course not. Life doesn't operate on society's timelines, and neither should your dreams. I want to tell you about Sarah, a woman I met in Karachi. She was 62 when her husband passed away, leaving her with no savings and 3 grandchildren to support. Everyone told her she was too old to start over. But Sarah had always loved cooking. She started making traditional Pakistani sweets from her small kitchen, selling them to neighbors. Today, at 68, she employs 15 women and supplies to major hotels across the city. When asked about her success, she said, "Age gave me wisdom, not limitations." Then there's Ahmed, who at 16 was told he was too young to understand business. His family struggled to pay for his education, but he had an idea. He noticed that many students in his area couldn't afford tutoring. So he started teaching math to younger children for a small fee. By 18, he had hired 4 other student tutors. By 20, he owned 3 tutoring centers. Today, at 22, his education company serves over 2,000 students. Age wasn't his barrier. It was his advantage. You see, we live in a world obsessed with timing. We've created artificial deadlines for dreams. We say you must graduate by 22, find a career by 25, get married by 30, buy a house by 35, achieve success by 40, and retire by 65. But life doesn't read our manuals. Life doesn't follow our timelines. Colonel Sanders was 65 when he founded KFC. Vera Wang entered fashion at 40. Grandma Moses started painting at 78. Laura Ingalls Wilder published her first Little House book at 64. These aren't exceptions, they're proof that success has its own schedule. But let's flip the coin. On the other side, we have Mark Zuckerberg creating Facebook at 19, Malala Yousafzai becoming the youngest Nobel Prize winner at 17, Mozart composing symphonies at 5, and countless young entrepreneurs changing the world before they could legally drink in some countries. What do all these people have in common? They refused to let age be their excuse. They understood something fundamental: your age is not your destiny, it's just a number on a calendar. I remember when I first started painting. My hands, which had once been steady and sure, now trembled from the trauma my body had endured. People said I was starting too late, that real artists begin in childhood. But you know what? My pain gave my art depth. My age gave my paintings wisdom. My late start gave my work authenticity that no art school could teach. Every brushstroke carried the weight of experience. Every color choice reflected years of understanding life's complexities. I wasn't too late, I was right on time, my time. Let me share something with you about the myth of perfect timing. There is no perfect time. There never has been and there never will be. If you're waiting for the perfect age, the perfect moment, the perfect circumstances, you'll wait forever while life passes you by. The 20-year-old thinks they need more experience. The 30-year-old thinks they're settling down too late. The 40-year-old thinks they're too established to change. The 50-year-old thinks they're too old to start over. The 60-year-old thinks they've missed all their chances. Do you see the pattern? At every age, we find reasons why it's not the right time. But what if I told you that right now, whatever age you are, you're at the perfect age to begin? What if I told you that your current age, with all its perceived limitations, is actually your greatest asset? If you're young, you have energy, adaptability, and fewer responsibilities holding you back. You can take risks that others can't. You can learn faster, pivot quicker, and bounce back easier. Your youth isn't inexperience, it's unlimited potential waiting to be unleashed. If you're middle-aged, you have something invaluable, experience combined with energy. You've learned from mistakes, you understand people, you know what works and what doesn't. You're not too old, you're perfectly seasoned for success. If you're older, you have wisdom, patience, and perspective that money can't buy. You've survived challenges that would break younger spirits. You understand the value of persistence, the importance of relationships, and the power of patience. Your age isn't a limitation, it's a superpower. I want to tell you about Fatima, a woman I met at one of my talks in Lahore. She approached me afterward, tears in her eyes. She was 45, had raised 3 children, and had always dreamed of becoming a teacher. But she had dropped out of school at 16 to get married. "I'm too old to go back to school," she told me. "Everyone will laugh at me." I looked at her and said, "Fatima, you've been teaching for 29 years. You taught your children how to walk, talk, read, and navigate life. The only difference is that now you want to get paid for what you've been doing for free." 6 months later, she enrolled in a teacher training program. Today, she's one of the most beloved teachers in her district. Her age didn't make her less qualified, it made her more relatable to her students and their parents. Here's what I've learned about age and success. Age brings clarity. When you're young, everything seems possible, which can be overwhelming. When you're older, you know what you want and why you want it. This clarity is incredibly powerful. Age brings authenticity. You stop trying to be who others want you to be and start becoming who you were meant to be. Your dreams become more genuine, more aligned with your true self. Age brings resilience. Every year you live, you survive challenges, overcome obstacles, and prove to yourself that you're stronger than you thought. This resilience becomes your foundation for future success. Age brings perspective. You understand that failure isn't the end, it's education. You know that rejection isn't personal, it's redirection. You realize that setbacks aren't permanent, they're temporary. Let me tell you about the day that changed my perspective on age forever. I was in a rehabilitation center, learning to live with my new reality. There was a 7-year-old girl there who had lost her leg in an accident. Every day, I watched her practice with her prosthetic, falling, getting up, falling again, laughing, trying again. One day, I asked her if she was scared about how different her life would be. She looked at me with those innocent eyes and said, "Auntie, I don't know how different it will be because I don't remember how it was before, but I know I'm going to do amazing things because I'm still me inside." That 7-year-old taught me something profound. She didn't see her age as a limitation or her disability as a barrier. She saw herself as someone with unlimited potential. If a 7-year-old could think that way, what excuse did I have at 21? What excuse do any of us have at any age? But let's address the elephant in the room, society's expectations. We live in a world that loves to put people in boxes based on age. You're supposed to act your age, dress your age, dream your age. But who decided what each age should look like? Who made these rules? I'll tell you people who gave up on their own dreams and now want everyone else to live within the same limitations they accepted for themselves. Mazari loves company, and unfulfilled dreams love to create more unfulfilled dreams. But you don't have to accept their limitations. You don't have to color within the lines they've drawn. You can create your own masterpiece on your own canvas, at your own pace in your own time. I think about my son, Nail. When I adopted him, people said I was too young to be a single mother, too inexperienced to raise a child, especially given my condition. But love doesn't have an age requirement. Nurturing doesn't come with an expiration date. Today, that little boy is my greatest achievement, not because of my age when I became his mother, but despite what people said about my age. He teaches me every day that growth has no age limit. At 5, he shows more courage than adults twice his age. At 6, he demonstrates more acceptance than people who've lived for decades. Children don't see limitations, they see possibilities. We could learn so much from them. Speaking of learning, let's talk about the myth that learning has an age limit. You can't teach an old dog new tricks, they say. But humans aren't dogs, and life isn't about tricks. Life is about continuous growth, constant evolution, endless learning. I started learning to paint at 25. I learned to speak publicly at 28. I learned to run a business at 32. I learned to advocate for disability rights at 35. Each new skill built on the previous one, creating a foundation stronger than any single talent could provide. The beautiful thing about learning is that every age brings a different perspective to the same subject. A 20-year-old learning business might focus on innovation and disruption. A 40-year-old might emphasize stability and relationships. A 60-year-old might prioritize wisdom and legacy. None is wrong, all are valuable. I want to share a story about my grandmother. She lived to be 96, and until her last day she was learning. At 80, she learned to use a mobile phone because she wanted to stay connected with her grandchildren. At 85, she learned to use social media because she wanted to see their photos. At 90, she learned to video call because she wanted to see their faces while talking to them. When people asked her why she bothered learning new technology at her age, she would say, "Age is just the number of years the world has been blessed with my presence. It doesn't determine how much more I can grow." That's the attitude we need. That's the mindset that breaks barriers and creates possibilities. Now, let's talk about fear, because fear is what really holds us back, not age. We use age as an excuse, but the real culprit is fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of being different, fear of starting over, fear of not being good enough. But here's what I've learned. Fear doesn't discriminate by age. A 20-year-old can be just as paralyzed by fear as an 80-year-old. And courage doesn't have an expiration date. A 60-year-old can be just as brave as a teenager. The difference isn't age, it's decision. The decision to act despite fear, to move despite uncertainty, to begin despite not knowing how it will end. When I first went on stage to speak, I was terrified. Not because of my age, but because I was afraid people wouldn't listen, wouldn't understand, wouldn't care. But I spoke anyway, not because I wasn't afraid, but because my message was more important than my fear. Every successful person you admire has felt this fear. The difference is they didn't let it stop them. They didn't use their age as an excuse to avoid the fear. They used their dreams as a reason to face it. Let me tell you about the power of starting. Every expert was once a beginner. Every professional was once an amateur. Every success story started with someone deciding to begin, regardless of their age. The day you start is the day you're no longer too young or too old. You're just someone who's started. And that's all success requires, a start. I started painting not because I was the right age, but because I had something to express. I started speaking not because I had enough experience, but because I had a story to tell. I started my organization not because I was perfectly prepared, but because there was work to be done. Starting doesn't require perfection, it requires intention. It doesn't require the right age, it requires the right attitude. Here's something beautiful about age and dreams. They complement each other perfectly. Young dreams have energy, mature dreams have focus. Young ambitions have passion. Experienced ambitions have strategy. Young goals have enthusiasm. Seasoned goals have wisdom. Whatever your age, you bring something unique to your dreams that no other age could bring. Your timing isn't wrong, it's distinctly yours. I think about the different phases of my life and how each has contributed to who I am today. My childhood gave me curiosity. My teenage years gave me courage. My early 20s gave me resilience. My late 20s gave me purpose. My 30s are giving me wisdom. Each phase prepared me for the next, not held me back from it. Your past doesn't disqualify you, it qualifies you. Your age doesn't eliminate opportunities, it creates unique ones. Your years aren't a burden, they're a blessing. Let me share something about regret, because this is what really hurts. Not the age you are, but the age you'll be when you realize you let age stop you. The saddest words in any language are, what if, and if only. What if I had started that business when I first thought of it? If only I had pursued that degree when I had the chance. What if I had taken that risk when I was younger? If only I had tried when I was older and wiser. But here's the thing about regret. It's always about not doing something, never about trying. People don't regret the chances they took, they regret the chances they didn't take. They don't regret failing, they regret not trying. So let me ask you, what will you regret more, trying and failing, or never trying at all? Being too young and making mistakes, or being too old and having regrets? Starting imperfectly now, or waiting for perfect timing that never comes? The answer is clear, isn't it? I want to talk about legacy for a moment, because this is what success really creates. Legacy isn't about age, It's about impact. It's not about when you started. It's about what you contributed. Some people create their legacy young and spend the rest of their lives building on it. Others discover their purpose later and create their legacy in their final chapters. Both are beautiful, both are valuable, both matter. Your legacy isn't measured by the age you achieved success. It's measured by the lives you touched, the problems you solved, the beauty you created, the hope you inspired. I think about the legacy I want to leave for my son, for the women I speak to, for the people who see my art. I don't want them to remember how old I was when I started. I want them to remember that I started. I want them to know that it's never too early or too late to begin creating the life you want. Here's what I want you to understand about time. It's going to pass anyway. Whether you pursue your dreams or not, whether you take action or not, whether you believe in yourself or not, time will keep moving. The question is, what will you have to show for it? A year from now, you'll be a year older regardless. The only question is whether you'll also be a year closer to your dreams, or a year further from them. 5 years from now, you'll be 5 years older. Will you also be 5 years more successful, 5 years more fulfilled, 5 years closer to the person you want to become? Time is not your enemy, inaction is. Age is not your barrier, fear is. The calendar is not your prison, your mindset is. I want to tell you about the moment everything changed for me. I was lying in that hospital bed, and a nurse walked in. She was probably in her 50s, with kind eyes and gentle hands. As she was checking my vitals, I asked her how long she had been a nurse. 30 years. She said with pride. Did you always want to be a nurse? I asked. She paused, smiled and said, no, actually, I wanted to be a teacher. But when I was 20, everyone said nursing was more practical. When I was 30, I thought about going back to school to become a teacher, but everyone said I was too old to change careers. When I was 40, I still dreamed of teaching, but everyone said I was too established to start over. Then she looked at me with tears in her eyes and said, I'm 53 now, and I still dream of teaching, but now everyone says I'm too close to retirement to make it worthwhile. That conversation broke my heart and opened my eyes. Here was a woman who had spent 30 years being good at something she settled for instead of pursuing what she loved. Not because she couldn't do it, but because people convinced her she was always the wrong age. I made a promise to myself that day. I would never let age be my excuse. I would never let society's timeline become my limitation. I would never sacrifice my dreams on the altar of other people's expectations. And that's what I'm asking you to do today. Make that same promise. Commit to your dreams regardless of your age. Decide that your birthday is not your expiration date and your age is not your limitation. Because here's the truth they don't want you to know: success doesn't have an age, because success isn't about age. It's about desire, determination, dedication, and decision. It's about wanting something badly enough to work for it, believing in yourself strongly enough to pursue it, and persisting long enough to achieve it. These qualities don't diminish with age, they often strengthen. These characteristics don't expire, they mature. These traits don't become less valuable over time, they become more refined. Think about the skills you've developed over the years, the patience you've learned, the wisdom you've gained, the confidence you've built, the relationships you've nurtured, the challenges you've overcome. These aren't consolation prizes for aging, they're tools for succeeding. Your age has given you something invaluable, the ability to know yourself. Young people often struggle with identity, trying to figure out who they are. As you get older, you become clearer about your values, your strengths, your passions, your purpose. This self-knowledge is incredibly powerful in pursuing success. You know what motivates you and what doesn't. You know what you're good at and what you need help with. You know what matters to you and what you can let go. This clarity eliminates the confusion that often holds people back. I want to share something about resilience, because this is where age becomes a superpower. Every year you've lived, you've survived 100% of your worst days. Think about that. Every challenge that felt insurmountable, you surmounted. Every problem that seemed unsolvable, you solved or survived. Every setback that felt permanent, you overcame or adapted to. This track record isn't just history, it's proof. Proof that you're stronger than you think, more resilient than you realize, more capable than you believe. Your age isn't evidence of wearing down, it's evidence of not giving up. Young people often fear failure because they haven't failed much yet. Older people often fear failure less because they've failed before and know it's survivable. This is a tremendous advantage. When you're not afraid of failure, you're free to take the risks that lead to success. Let me tell you about Maria, a woman I met in Islamabad. She was 58 when she decided to start her own catering business. Her children were grown, her husband was supportive, and she had always been praised for her cooking. But she was terrified. What if I fail? She asked me. What if people don't like my food? What if I lose money? What if I'm too old to learn how to run a business? I asked her, Maria, have you ever cooked a meal that everyone hated? Well, no, she replied. Have you ever managed a household budget? For 35 years, she said. Have you ever dealt with difficult people? She laughed. I raised 4 teenagers. Then you already know how to cook, manage money, and handle difficult customers. The only thing you need to learn is how to get paid for skills you already have. Today, Maria's catering business serves corporate events, weddings, and private parties across 3 cities. Her advanced age wasn't a liability, it was her qualification. Her years of experience weren't a disadvantage, they were her competitive edge. This is what I want you to understand. You're not starting from zero, no matter what age you are. You're starting with everything you've learned, everyone you've met, every skill you've developed, every challenge you've overcome. You're not a blank slate, you're a rich tapestry of experience waiting to be woven into success. But success isn't just about professional achievements or financial gains. Success is about becoming the person you were meant to be, living the life you were designed to live, making the impact you were created to make. And this kind of success has no expiration date. You can become a better person at any age. You can discover new talents at any stage. You can make a difference at any time. You can find joy, purpose, and fulfillment whether you're 18 or 80. I think about the different types of success that become available at different ages. In your 20s, you might succeed at taking risks and exploring possibilities. In your 30s, you might succeed at building foundations and establishing yourself. In your 40s, you might succeed at leading and mentoring others. In your 50s, you might succeed at wisdom and strategic thinking. In your 60s and beyond, you might succeed at legacy and meaning. Each age offers unique opportunities for success. The key is recognizing the possibilities of your current age, instead of mourning the opportunities of ages past, or fearing the limitations of ages to come. I want to address something that holds many people back, the fear of starting over. Maybe you're 35 and want to change careers. Maybe you're 50 and want to go back to school. Maybe you're 65 and want to start a business. The thought of starting over can feel overwhelming. But here's what I want you to consider. You're not starting over, you're starting forward. You're not going back to the beginning, you're beginning the next chapter. You're not erasing your past, you're building on it. Every experience you've had, every lesson you've learned, every relationship you've built, every skill you've developed comes with you into your new venture. You're not starting with empty hands, you're starting with full hands, a full heart, and a full mind. When I transitioned from being a patient to being an artist to being a speaker to being an entrepreneur, I wasn't starting over each time. I was adding layers to who I was, building on the foundation of who I had become. Your age doesn't erase your accumulated wisdom, it enhances your new pursuits. Your years don't diminish your capabilities, they multiply your resources. Your experience doesn't limit your options, it expands your effectiveness. Let me share a secret with you. The most successful people I know didn't find their true calling until later in life. They spent their younger years experimenting, learning, growing, preparing. Their age didn't delay their success, it refined it. Ray Kroc was 52 when he franchised McDonald's. Vera Wang was 40 when she entered fashion. Colonel Sanders was 62 when he franchised KFC. Laura Ingalls Wilder was 64 when she published her first Little House book. These people weren't late bloomers, they were right time bloomers. Their age gave them something youth couldn't: clarity about what they wanted, confidence in their abilities, connections to help them succeed, and credibility to be taken seriously. Their years weren't obstacles to overcome, they were assets to leverage. This is what I want you to understand about timing. There's no such thing as the right time, only the time you choose to act. There's no perfect age, only the age you are when you decide to begin. There's no ideal moment, only the moment you stop waiting and start moving. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. The same is true for your dreams. The best time to start might have been years ago, but the second best time is right now, at whatever age you are. I want to talk about the power of perspective, because this changes everything. Instead of thinking I'm too old, think I'm experienced enough. Instead of thinking I'm too young, think I'm energetic enough. Instead of thinking I've missed my chance, think my chance is now. Language shapes reality. The words you use about your age either limit you or liberate you. They either build walls or open doors. They either create excuses or generate possibilities. When people tell me I inspire them, I always say that inspiration isn't about my age or my circumstances. It's about my choice to see possibilities instead of limitations, to focus on what I can do instead of what I can't do, to embrace what I am instead of mourning what I'm not. This choice is available to everyone at every age. You can choose to see your youth as inexperience or as unlimited potential. You can choose to see your middle age as decline or as prime time. You can choose to see your later years as endings or as wisdom years. The choice is yours, and it has nothing to do with your age. I want to tell you about the day I realized I had found my purpose. I was speaking to a group of women who had experienced trauma, and after my talk, a young girl approached me. She couldn't have been more than 16, and she was in a wheelchair. She looked at me with tears in her eyes and said, "Thank you for showing me that my life isn't over. Thank you for proving that I can still do amazing things. Thank you for being proof that success has no age." In that moment, I realized that my accident, my age, my journey, it was all preparation for this moment, for this impact, for this purpose. I wasn't too young when I started or too old to continue. I was exactly the right age to be exactly where I was supposed to be. That's what I want for you, to realize that you are exactly the right age to begin becoming who you're meant to be. Not too young, not too old, but perfectly positioned for your next chapter. Here's what I know about dreams: they don't come with expiration dates. A dream you had at 20 is still valid at 40. A dream you discover at 60 is just as valuable as one you had at 16. Dreams don't age, they mature. They don't expire, they evolve. They don't become less important over time. They become more refined. Your dreams are not dependent on your age, they're dependent on your commitment to them. They don't require youth, they require enthusiasm. They don't need perfect timing, they need persistent action. I want you to imagine something with me. Imagine that age didn't exist. Imagine that birthdays were just celebrations, not measurements. Imagine that years were just markers of experience, not limitations of possibility. How would you live differently? What would you pursue? What would you attempt? Now here's the beautiful truth: age is just a construct. It's a number we've given meaning to, but that meaning is arbitrary. You have the power to redefine what your age means. You can choose to see it as a limitation or as a qualification. You can view it as an ending or as a beginning. You can interpret it as a barrier or as a foundation. The number doesn't define you, you define what the number means. I think about my art and how each painting reflects not just my skill, but my journey. The tremor in my hands that people see as a limitation creates a unique texture in my work that no steady hand could replicate. My age when I started gave my art a depth that comes only from lived experience. My timing wasn't wrong, it was perfect for the art I was meant to create. Your timing isn't wrong either. Your age isn't a mistake. Your current season isn't an accident. You are exactly where you need to be to begin exactly what you're meant to do. Let me share something about courage, because this is what success really requires. Not a specific age, but specific courage. The courage to begin despite uncertainty. The courage to continue despite obstacles. The courage to believe despite doubts. The courage to act despite fear. This courage isn't age dependent. I've seen it in children facing medical treatments. I've seen it in teenagers standing up to bullies. I've seen it in young adults starting businesses. I've seen it in middle-aged people changing careers. I've seen it in older adults learning new skills. Courage doesn't discriminate by age, it responds to need. When you need courage, it's available. When you choose courage, it multiplies. When you act with courage, it grows. Your age doesn't determine your access to courage, your decision does. I want to talk about regret one more time, because this is crucial. The biggest regret is not pursuing your dreams because you thought you were too young or too old. The saddest story is the person who had everything they needed to succeed, except the belief that their age was right. Don't let your age become your regret. Don't let society's timeline become your limitation. Don't let other people's expectations become your prison. You have one life, one chance, one opportunity to become who you were meant to be and do what you were meant to do. Your age is not your enemy in this process, it's your ally. It brings you experience, wisdom, perspective, relationships, skills, and knowledge that no other age could provide. As I approach the end of my time with you today, I want to leave you with this truth. Success has no age because success is not about age. It's about heart, mind, spirit, and action. It's about desire, determination, dedication, and decision. These qualities don't expire. They don't diminish with age. They often strengthen, deepen, and become more focused over time. Whether you're 20 or 60, whether you're just starting or starting over, whether you're pursuing your first dream or your final dream, you are not too young or too old. You are not too early or too late. You are not too inexperienced or too set in your ways. You are exactly the right age to begin. You are perfectly positioned to pursue your purpose. You are ideally situated to start your success story. The only question that matters is not, am I the right age? But, am I ready to begin? And if you're listening to these words, if you're feeling that stirring in your heart, if you're sensing that pull towards something more, then the answer is yes. You are ready. Your age has prepared you for this moment. Your experiences have equipped you for this journey. Your dreams have been patient enough to wait for your readiness. The time is now, the age is right, the moment is perfect. Not because everything is ideal, but because you are here, you are alive, you have dreams, and you have decided that success has no age. So rise up regardless of your age. Step forward despite what others say about your timing. Begin today, because today is the only day you have guaranteed. Your success story is waiting to be written. Your impact is waiting to be made. Your legacy is waiting to be created. And it all begins now, at exactly the age you are, in exactly the moment you choose to start. Because success, my friends, truly has no age. It only has believers. And today I believe in you. Thank you.